I stood at the altar trembling. He took my hand and whispered, "Don't fear me." I believed him. But betrayal came with the first shot. That day my life became a fight for survival. I stood at the altar, my hands trembling. The air smelled of flowers and dust. My heart beat loud. Rylan held my hand. His touch was steady. He leaned close. "Don't fear me," he whispered. I looked at him. His eyes were dark. "Why would I fear you?" I asked softly. He smiled faintly. "Because tonight will change everything." I pulled my gaze to the crowd. Faces were bright with smiles, but some eyes were cold, suspicious. The priest began the vows. My voice shook. "I take you." My words broke. A loud bang echoed. Gasps filled the air. Someone screamed. Rylan tightened my hand. "Stay close," he said. Dust rose. A second shot rang loud. My knees felt weak. I saw people run. The crowd scattered. Rylan pulled me back. "We have to go," he said, voice sharp. "What is happening?" I cried. "Danger," he said. His voice was calm, but his eyes were fierce. "Trust me." I nodded, but fear clawed my chest. He pulled me away from the altar. His coat brushed against mine. Behind us, chaos roared. The sound of boots, shouting, and more gunshots filled the air. I heard breaking wood. "Where are we going?" I asked. "To safety," he said without looking at me. His hand pulled mine tighter. We ran toward the side gate. Mara was there, her face pale. "Go!" she yelled. "They are coming!" I glanced back. Shadows moved fast. A horse neighed in panic. I stumbled. "Rylan caught me instantly. You okay?" he asked. I nodded. "Yes, but what is this?" "Why, not now," he said. Later, his eyes did not soften. His voice held steel. My stomach knotted. He did not explain. I wanted to ask again, but fear held my tongue. We ran out of the church. The night air hit my face. Cold wind mixed with smoke and dust. "Where to?" I asked, breathless. "Anywhere but here," Rylan said. His voice was low. "We must disappear tonight," I shivered. "Disappear?" "But my wedding—" His hand tightened on mine. "Your wedding is gone. This night is no longer yours." My throat closed. I could not answer. My feet moved without my will. We ran through narrow streets. I heard screams behind us. We reached the edge of town. Horses waited. Rylan jumped on one and pulled me after him. The saddle was rough beneath me. My dress caught on the leather. He looked back. "Hold tight," he said. I wrapped my arms around him. "Where are we going?" I whispered. He gave no answer. The horse moved fast. My hair whipped across my face. I closed my eyes. Gunshots cracked behind us. The sound was sharp, close. My chest tightened. "Rylan," I said. His name was a prayer and a question. He did not look at me. "We'll talk when we are safe," he said. His voice was quiet, almost a promise. I nodded. My hand still gripped his. My heart beat wildly. I did not know what was real anymore. My wedding was gone, and something unknown had taken its place. We galloped into the dark. Dust rose in clouds around us. The moon shone faint, hiding and revealing the world in turns. My mind raced. Who fired the shots? Why me? Why Rylan? He still said nothing. His silence was heavier than the noise behind us. I remembered his whisper, "Don't fear me." But fear had already found me. The town lights disappeared. Only shadows and wind surrounded us. My wedding was lost and a dangerous night had begun. My heart beat loud in my ears. My breath came fast. I held on to Rylan, unsure if he was my salvation or my doom. The road ahead was unknown. My vows were broken, and my life was changed forever. The night was cold, but Rylan kept moving. I followed quietly. My shoes sank into dust. The wind spoke in whispers. "Where are we going?" I asked. He did not answer, only kept walking. His boots made soft thuds on stone. "Rylan," I said again. "Please tell me something." He stopped. His eyes glinted under moonlight. "You do not need answers now." "But I do," I said softly. "I need to know why." He shook his head. "Some things are dangerous. You must not know them." I stepped closer. "Danger does not scare me anymore." His voice dropped. "You should be scared." I looked at him. "Why?" He did not speak, only walked ahead. His coat flared in the wind. I could smell smoke and leather. Mara's words came to me again. "Do not trust him too much." Her voice was sharp in my mind. I swallowed hard. We walked under trees that bent low. Shadows touched us. The road grew harder to see. My heart beat fast. "Rylan," I whispered. Why are we running? He glanced at me. Because I have no choice. I looked down. Do you fear them? He looked away. Not fear, regret. The word struck me. I wanted to ask more, but my voice froze. I felt his silence as a weight. The camp came before I noticed. A small fire glowed in a hollow space. Smoke curled into the sky. He kneeled and pulled wood from a bag. Sit, he said. You need rest. I dropped beside him. Why did you save me? He looked at the fire. I did not save you. I took you. His words cut deeper than I expected. I stared at him. Why? He lit a small flame. Because I could not let them take you. I shivered. But who are they? People who do not forgive, he said. People who kill without mercy. The fire crackled. My fear grew. And you? I asked softly. Do they forgive you? He looked up at me then. No, I do not forgive myself. I wanted to speak, but silence fell. My mind replayed Mara's warning. I touched my fingers to my ring. It felt cold. You are quiet, Ryland said after a long pause. Do you regret coming with me? No, I said, but I need truth. He glanced at me again hard. Truth is dangerous. I leaned forward. Danger is already here. He looked away. His jaw tightened. Tomorrow we will find more answers. Tonight you must rest, I nodded slowly. But sleep felt far away. I sat beside the fire and listened to the night. The wind carried voices, or maybe memories. My mind was heavy with doubt. I thought of the day before, the wedding, the noise, the shots, the escape. I thought of my home, now so far away. I wondered what Ryland hid. His silence was a shadow. I wanted to pull it away, but I feared what lay beneath. The fire burned lower. Ryland sat still, watching me. His face was unreadable. His hand rested on his gun, close to his belt. I could not stop staring. Who are you, Ryland? He did not answer, only stared at the fire. I knew my question had no easy answer. I curled my coat around me. The night was colder now. My breath came in clouds. I felt fear and something else. Something I did not want to name. Hope. I whispered to myself. What am I running into? Ryland shifted beside me. Shadows are not always dark, he said quietly. Some hold truth. I looked at him. What truth? His eyes stayed on the fire. You will see soon enough. I stared into the glowing embers. The road behind us was empty now. Only the sound of the wind and the quiet crackle of wood. I thought of Mara again. Her words haunted me. My heart beat faster. My mind told me to turn away, but my feet stayed still. I was trapped between fear and curiosity. The truth waited somewhere ahead, and I had chosen to follow him into it. The shadows stretched long around us. They seemed to whisper my name. I looked at Ryland one last time. His face was calm, but his eyes were storm. I realized then that I was not just running. I was walking into something I could never turn from. The fire burned low. We sat in silence under the night, and the truth waited in the shadows. I sat by the fire. Ryland's back was turned to me. His shoulders moved slow. I wanted to ask, but words stayed in my throat. You are quiet tonight, he said without turning. I think, I said, about what you hide. He sighed. Some things are better left alone. I looked at him. Better left alone? Or too dangerous to speak? He stayed silent. The wind carried whispers from the town. I heard my name, then his. What did they say? I asked softly. That I am danger, he said. That I am hunted. Why? My voice was small. I trusted you. Trust is earned, he said. Not given, I felt a sting. I gave you mine. You gave me a part, he replied. The rest belongs to my past. Your past? I leaned closer. Tell me. He looked at me for a long time. I was part of a gang. A gang? My voice rose. What did you do? Things I am not proud of, he said. I made enemies. I spilled blood. My hand trembled. Blood? I whispered. How much? Enough to change me, he said. Enough to make me leave. Why leave? I asked. Why come to me? He studied me. Because you are my home. And I am not safe. Not anywhere else. I looked down at the fire. My heart twisted. But they call you an outlaw. They call me a killer, he said quietly. I wore their names like chains. I was silent. My mind turned over his words. And Jonah? He flinched. Jonah was my brother in arms. He betrayed me, took what I loved, left me burning. Jonah? I asked. Why does his name sound like a wound? Because it is, he said softly. I cannot heal from it. The night grew heavier. The fire crackled. I stared at him, unsure what to say. Do you regret it? I finally asked. Every night, he said. But regret is a chain. I do not wear it anymore. You sound certain, I said. But your eyes tell another story. He stood. I live with both, certainty and doubt. They keep me moving. I stayed quiet. I wanted to ask more, but I feared the answer. The wind whispered again. Sheriff Callan's voice reached me in fragments. He must pay. Outlaw, no mercy. I looked at Rylan. His jaw tightened. They call me a menace, he said quietly. They will not stop until I am dead. I swallowed hard. Then we are both in danger. He turned to me. His eyes burned. You still choose me? I nodded slowly. I do. Even if it is dangerous. He stepped closer. Then we walk this road together. No matter what comes, I stared into his eyes. But what if the road ends badly? Then I die with you, he said softly. I felt fear and something like comfort. My heart beat hard. I didn't speak. The night held us in silence. The fire burned low. I kept watching him. Some truths were not told that night. But I knew the past was not buried. It lived in his eyes, and it lived between us. We arrived at the ranch just before sunset. Ryland slowed his horse. Rest here tonight, he said softly. I looked around. The place was quiet. Wood smelled of smoke. Horses moved slowly near the fence. Thank you, I said. But why here? He did not answer. He only kept staring at the horizon. I stepped down from my horse. My legs ached. Mara came from the barn. You are safe here, she said. Her voice was quiet, almost warning. I looked at her. Who are you? Mara, she said. I work here. I know him. Be careful. I glanced at Rylan. He said nothing. Eli appeared with a lantern. Food inside, he said. You should eat. I followed them. The air felt heavy. I wanted to ask questions, but I held my tongue. Inside, Lydia stood by the door. She watched me. Her eyes were sharp. I felt her judgment before she spoke. You are brave, she said softly. Or foolish. I did not answer. I went to the table. Rylan sat beside me without speaking. Mara brought bread. Eli poured water. Silence grew heavy. I ate slowly, watching them. Finally, I asked, why did you bring me here? Rylan's eyes looked tired. You need rest. I need silence. I looked away. Silence can hide truth. He did not answer again. I felt a chill in his silence. Later, I went to the river. Water moved slow. The sky darkened. Storm clouds gathered. I heard footsteps. Rylan stood beside me. Why here? I asked. Water clears the mind, he said. His voice was soft but strong. I looked at him. Do you trust me? He was quiet. I should not, he said. But I do. His answer surprised me. Then tell me why you run from truth. He looked away. Some truths are dangerous. I touched my ring. My heart ached, and yet I want to know. He looked at me sharply. You are learning trust is expensive, I laughed softly. Trust is my only currency now. Rylan's voice dropped. Be careful with it. I watched the river. I have no choice. We stood in silence. The wind grew strong. Rain began to fall. Rylan pulled his coat around me. You will learn, he said quietly. Soon, I turned to him. Learn what? That not all promises keep themselves, he said. Thunder rolled in the distance. I looked at him, searching. Do you promise? He nodded once. Yes, but promises have weight. I smiled faintly. Then I will carry it. Rylan's eyes softened. Good. You should learn to carry weight. We stood together at the riverbank. Rain fell harder. Water splashed against my boots. My fingers touched his arm. I fear what comes next. Rylan looked down at me. So do I. I swallowed hard. Then we trust even in fear, he nodded. Trust is our choice. Lightning flashed above. I felt a pull in my chest. Something in me changed. I will tell you something, I said softly. He waited. I fear losing myself more than death. His hand held mine tighter. Then you must guard yourself well. I looked at the water. And if I fail? You will learn, he said quietly. Like I did, the rain soaked us. We stood together. Silence filled the air again. I whispered to myself, trust has a price. And Rylan answered softly, but it can also save you. We walked back to the ranch. The storm followed us. Jonas came without warning. I saw him standing at the edge of camp. His face was hard, eyes cold. "Why are you here?" I asked. He smiled without warmth. "To speak truth." "Not lies," Ryland stepped forward. "You should leave now," Jonas laughed. "Not before she hears what I know." I stepped closer. "What do you mean?" Jonas looked at me directly. "Ryland killed many people. You need to know." My breath froze. "What? No." My voice cracked. "Why would you say that?" Ryland's eyes narrowed. "He lies." Jonas shook his head. "I speak truth. I was there. I felt my chest tighten." "Ryland, is this true?" He stepped closer to me, his voice low. "I will explain later." "Not now," Jonas scoffed. "You always say later. People died because of him." "I saw it." Ryland's hand clenched into a fist. "I protected you." That was my choice. I looked between them. My head spun. "Protected? From what?" My voice was small. Jonas laughed coldly. "From truth." I took a step back. "Ryland, tell me." "I can't," he said quietly. "Not here." Jonas's eyes burned. "Then I will." "You deserve to know before it's too late." I touched Ryland's arm. "Please tell me now." He shook his head. "I can't. Not yet." Jonas's voice rose. "You were with us. You rode with my gang. You broke the law." Ryland's voice cut sharp. "I did what I must." I shook my head. "This sounds terrible." "I don't understand." My voice trembled. Jonas pointed at Ryland. "She must know everything." "She must see him for who he is." I looked at Ryland again. His face was closed, unreadable. "Why won't you tell me?" I asked softly. Ryland's voice was rough. "Because I promised her safety." "You are safer if you don't know now." "But I want to know," I said firmly. "I have the right to know." Jonas smiled faintly. "She should decide. Before it is too late." The wind moved through the camp. It carried tension and silence. I felt fear in my chest. "Ryland, I need truth," I said. "I can't live in doubt." He looked at me with pain in his eyes. "I will tell you, but not now." "Promise me," I frowned. "I can't promise. I need answers." Jonas stepped forward. "You see? She does not trust you." I looked between them. My heart beat fast. "I need to decide. Who do I trust?" Ryland stepped toward me. "Trust me." "I protect you always," Jonas laughed darkly. "You speak of protection but live in lies." I looked away. My hand touched my wedding ring. I felt cold. My thoughts spun. "Ryland," I said softly, "if you hide truth, you hide yourself." His voice was low and firm. "Some truths destroy. I protect you from them. But what if truth saves me?" I whispered. Jonas shook his head. "You need truth, whether you want it or not." Ryland's voice broke my thoughts. "Then you choose." "But choose now." I stepped back. My eyes filled with tears. I don't know." Jonas smiled faintly. "Then you wait. But remember, waiting is a choice too." The night air felt heavy. I heard voices in the distance. Sheriff Callan's voice. Ryland looked at me. "They come." "We must move." I swallowed hard. "Move? But I need truth before we go." Ryland took my hand. "I promise, soon." Jonas turned and walked away, his boots heavy on the dirt. I stood still, watching them both. My heart ached. Danger was close. Truth was closer, I whispered to myself, trembling. I must decide who to trust. The night was quiet when we heard the first shot. I woke with a start. Ryland's hand was already on my arm. "Get up," he whispered. His voice was hard. I felt my heart pound. "We need to move." I slipped out of bed. The air was cold, but the heat of fear burned inside me. "Why now?" I asked softly. "They found us," he said. His eyes were sharp in the dark. "We have no choice." Mara was outside. Her face was pale. "They are coming," she said. "They know where we hide." I grabbed my shawl. My hands shook. "Who are they?" I asked. "Men of Callan's law," Ryland said. "And Jonah." His voice was low. His face looked unreadable. The sound of boots came first. Then a crash, then fire. Flames rose from the barn. Smoke filled the night air. I gasped. "The barn!" I pulled Ryland's arm. "We must help!" "We can't," he said firmly. "We take the house first. Then we save what we can." I looked at him, seeing fear and anger both. His jaw was tight. "Ryland, Mara," I began, but he shook his head. "Go," he said. "Now." We ran through the back door. The air was thick with smoke. I coughed and covered my face. The smell was bitter. Screams came from the yard. I froze. Then I heard it. Lydia, her voice, calling for help. Rylan, I shouted. He looked at me, torn. His hand gripped mine. Stay close, he said. The ground was burning under my boots. I saw Mara fall. Mara, I cried. I ran to her. She held her arm, blood dripping. I'm fine, she said, but her voice was weak. Go, I wanted to argue, but Rylan pulled me away. No, we run. We stumbled toward the gate. Lydia's voice came again, crying in panic. I looked back. She was gone in the smoke. Leave her, Rylan said. His voice was cold. I could feel his decision was made, but my heart burned with guilt. The gate closed behind us. We ran through the trees. I heard the sound of gunshots behind. Then silence. I stopped. My chest ached. My mind screamed. Did we lose them? I asked. Rylan did not answer. He held me close. Nothing can take you now, he whispered. His breath was warm on my neck. I looked into his eyes. I saw pain. I saw fear, and I saw something I could not name. Mara? I asked softly. She is hurt, he said. We will find her, later. I nodded, but I could not move. The air smelled of blood and smoke. I tasted ash on my lips. We moved again. The night wrapped around us. Every step was heavy. My heart beat fast. I felt tears but did not cry. I thought of my wedding day. Of his words, don't fear me. Now fear was the only thing I felt. We stopped near a river. The moonlight shone on the water. Rylan sat me down. His hands were trembling. You are safe with me, he said, but his voice lacked certainty. I am afraid, I whispered. I don't know what is coming. Neither do I, he said quietly. But I promise you, no one will take you from me again. I looked at him. My hands clenched. I love you, Rylan, I said softly. His eyes darkened. You should not, he said. Not now. Not after this. I saw his chest tighten. The air was thick with words unsaid. Flames burned far behind us like a cruel reminder. The night stayed heavy. I felt my choice settle deep in my chest. Loving him was not safe, but letting go was impossible. We stood in silence. Fire roared somewhere behind. Blood still marked the ground. I knew the night was not over. Rylan held my hand. We make them pay, he said. His voice was steady now. No matter the cost, I swallowed hard. Then we will. The smoke curled around us. My heart beat fast. I knew there was no turning back. I looked up at the sky. Fire and blood painted the night red, and I swore silently. This was only the beginning. I woke early. The air was heavy. Dust swirled across the ground. Rylan sat near the fire. His hands rested on his knees. He did not look at me. Something is wrong, I said softly. He did not answer. His jaw was tight, his eyes fixed on the horizon. Footsteps came quick. I heard voices. Men spoke low but firm. The sound of boots grew closer. I froze. Stay here, Rylan said quietly. I shook my head. I go with you, he looked at me sharply. This is not your fight. Every fight with you is mine, I said. A group of men appeared. At their head was Sheriff Callan. His face was hard, eyes cold. My breath caught. Miss, Callan said. Step aside. I did not move. Rylan stepped forward. Callan. This is between us? Callan smiled without warmth. It is not just between you two anymore. You stand accused, Rylan. Justice must be served. Rylan looked at me. His hand trembled slightly. Don't listen to him. I listen to no one but myself, I said. Callan's voice was steady. I give you a choice. Protect him and you will be treated as his accomplice. I will take you into custody. Or you turn him in and I promise safety. I blinked. My heart beat hard. Safety sounded sweet, but the price was heavy. I turned to Rylan. Tell me, what will happen to you? He looked away. I go to the gallows. No, I said quickly. There must be another way. Callan stepped closer. There is no other way. You must choose. The town gathered. Voices rose in anger. I heard whispers, some calling my name. Others calling his... My chest felt tight. I saw Rylan's hand tighten around his hat. His face showed pain I could not bear. My own fear grew. I thought of Mara, of the road we walked, of every choice that brought me here. I heard my voice before I knew I spoke. I will not betray him. Callan's eyes narrowed. Then you choose to stand with an outlaw. Yes, I said clearly. I choose him. A silence fell. The air felt heavier. Men shifted their weight. The sheriff's lips pressed thin. You understand what you do? Colin asked. Yes, I said. And I accepted. Rylan stepped closer. You do not know what this means. I know enough. I said. I know I cannot live without my choice. The sheriff signaled his men. They moved closer, surrounding us. Ryland's hand came to mine. His grip was warm and trembling. I will protect you, he whispered. I know, I said softly. But now I fear for both of us. Callan moved toward Ryland. By law, you are under arrest. I will not go, Ryland said. His voice was low but firm. The crowd murmured. Some shouted. I heard footsteps pounding closer. Mara appeared, her face pale. She looked between us, then at Callan. You cannot take her choice from her, Mara said. Callan looked at her and shook his head. This is about law, not choice, I stepped forward. It is about justice, and I decide what justice means, Callan frowned. You will regret this. Maybe, I said quietly. But I will not regret choosing what is right for me. Ryland's eyes softened. Then we face it together. I took his hand. The crowd's noise faded. Only our breaths remained loud. Callan stepped back. You have made your choice. But I warn you, there will be a price, I nodded. I know. Ryland pulled me close. Then we leave tonight. Yes, I whispered. We leave! The sun dipped low. Shadows grew long. I felt the weight of what I chose. But I felt something stronger. Freedom. As the town watched, we turned away. The road ahead was unclear. But my decision was clear. I would stand with him. Whatever came next, I woke before dawn. The wind was cold, but softer now. Ryland sat by the fire. His eyes stared into the smoke. Can you sleep? I asked quietly. No, he said. Not yet. I sat beside him. I am still afraid. He did not answer at once. Then he said, I was afraid too. But not now. Why? I asked. Because you are here, he said softly. I looked at him. The man beside me was no longer only the outlaw. He was a man bound by something deeper. We moved quietly away from the camp. Mara followed with the baby blanket. Eli carried water. I followed last, careful. Ryland spoke after long silence. The sheriff is behind us. We can't stay safe for long, I know, I said. But I want to fight for us. He looked at me, his eyes sharp. You speak like a warrior. I speak like someone who has no chains now, I said. He smiled faintly. Chains are not always visible, Mara joined us then. She held a small bag. You need food, she said. And rest. I will rest later, I said. We need to move. The young boy from the ranch appeared. His bare feet made soft noise on dirt. He looked at me and smiled. You okay? I asked him. He nodded. Yes, you too? I try to be, I said softly. He laughed quietly. You look stronger now. I looked away. Strength comes from choice. Ryland tightened his jacket. We must be careful. They track us. I know, I said. But I do not fear them anymore. You mean the sheriff? He asked. Yes, I said. And what I carry in my heart. He studied me, quiet. Then he said, You have changed. So have you, I said. We walked toward the fence. Mara followed. The boy ran ahead. Eli stayed behind to check the road. The ranch was quiet now. Smoke from our camp rose thin into air. I heard Ryland's voice low. Do you trust me? Yes, I said without pause. His hand brushed mine. I felt heat in the cold. Then we fight together, I nodded. I choose to fight. The night was deep. I looked at the sky, breathing slow. Chains of fear were gone. I was free, I whispered to myself. I choose this road. Danger, hope, and love. Ryland's voice came near. We face it together, I smiled softly. Always. We moved into the darkness, silent but certain. I held my promise in my heart. I was no longer running. I was living. The cold woke me before the sun. I could hear Ryland moving softly. His boots creaked. I did not want to wake him, but my mind was loud. Fear was there, but so was fire. I touched my ring finger. Empty. I smiled slightly. Chains were gone, I whispered. Ryland, wake up. He opened one eye. Already awake? Yes, I said. We cannot wait. He looked at me. His face was quiet. We go soon. Yes, I said again. My voice was steady. We dressed in silence. The wind was sharp. I could smell smoke. The town lay quiet. Too quiet, Ryland said. They wait for us. I know, I replied. We faced them. We stepped out. Mara and Eli waited by the horses. Mara gave me a cloth. For your hand, she said softly. I nodded. Thank you, Eli said nothing. His eyes were fixed on the ground. I knew he feared the fight. Ryland came beside me. You ready? I held his gaze. More than ever, he nodded. Good, let's finish this. We rode together. The earth shook under hooves. My heart beat with each step. I felt every muscle tense. Jonah was waiting. Sheriff Callan was near. I saw the guns glint. My breath caught. Rylan whispered to me, "Stay close." I nodded. My hand found his. His was steady and warm. My fear stayed, but my courage grew. Jonah stepped forward. "You should have stayed away, Rylan." Rylan said, "I cannot." Jonah laughed. "Then you will die here," I spoke, my voice firm. "No, we end this now." Sheriff Callan stepped in. His boots were loud on stone. "This ends today," he said. "Yes," I said softly. "It ends today." The air held stillness. A bird cried somewhere. Then the sound of steel. Jonah charged. Rylan moved fast. I stayed behind them. My hand gripped my belt. My breath came quick. Shots rang. A loud crash. Jonah fell. The air stank of gunpowder and blood. I stepped forward. My legs were weak. Rylan turned, his eyes on me. "Stay back," he said. "No," I said. "I stand with you." The sheriff lowered his gun. "Enough," he said. "It is done." I looked around. Bodies lay still. Silence was heavy. My heart thudded hard. I felt tears in my eyes. Rylan came to me. His voice was low. "We did it." "Yes," I said, voice shaking. "We did it." I looked at Jonah. He lay still, his face pale. My stomach turned. This was not easy. Revenge was not clean. Rylan pulled me close. "You were brave. I had you," I whispered. "And the truth." He stayed silent. His hand rested on my shoulder. I felt his breath slow. The first light of dawn touched the field. Gold and red mixed in the sky. I breathed deep. I felt it, the weight lifting. My hands still shook. I looked at Rylan. "Whatever comes next, we face it together." He did not speak. His silence was a promise. The sheriff stepped forward. "You have your choice now," he said. I looked at Rylan. My heart was still strong. "My choice is him," I said softly. Rylan's eyes met mine. His lips curved faintly. "Good," he said. We stood side by side as the sun rose. The air was cold, but my heart was warm. My fear was gone. The dawn held fire and freedom. I felt my past fade with the night. My courage was new, sharper. I breathed it in. This was our day. Our fight. Our beginning. I whispered again to him. "We face it together." His silence stayed. But I knew we were ready. The sun broke over the hills. I opened my eyes and felt peace. I sat slowly. My body still ached. My heart still beat fast. I looked at Rylan. He sat beside me. His face was calm. "Did we win?" I asked softly. He nodded. "Yes." His voice was low but sure. "They are gone, Jonah." I asked. "He is gone," Rylan said. "Callan too." I breathed deep. The air smelled clean. The grass felt soft under my feet. I looked around. The fire was cold now. Silence stayed with us. "Are we safe?" I asked. "As safe as we can be," Rylan said. "But danger is always near," I nodded. My fingers found his hand. It was warm. "I am not afraid now." "You said that before," he said quietly. "This time it is true," I said. I fought. I bled. "I lived." Rylan looked down at me. "You have changed." "I have," I said. The road was cruel. "But I am not broken." He touched my face. His fingers were rough but gentle. "You are strong," he said. "More than I thought," I smiled softly. "I learned from you." "No," he said. "You learned from yourself." We stayed silent. The wind moved through the grass. I heard a bird sing in the distance. A new day began. "Do you want to leave?" I asked. "Leave this place?" "I want to stay," Rylan said. "With you?" My heart jumped. "Forever?" "Forever," he said, his eyes soft. I took his hand tighter. "I choose you, always." He smiled and his eyes shone. "I choose you too." We stood together. The sky turned gold and pink. I felt light. I felt free. Mara came toward us. Her face was tired but calm. "It is over," she said. "We won." "Yes," I said. "We won more than a battle." She smiled. "You won peace." I looked at Rylan. "Peace is enough." He kissed my hand. "It is the start." We walked toward the old barn. The door was open. Inside was safe now. I saw the young boy there. He smiled at us. "You will stay?" he asked. "Yes," I said. "We will stay." The boy laughed softly. "Good." We stepped inside. The light was warm. I felt hope grow in my heart. I knew the past stayed with me. But it did not own me. I turned to Rylan. "Do you ever fear again?" Sometimes, he said, but not with you. I took his arm. I feel the same. We sat on the wooden bench. I held his hand and looked at the sunrise. The scars were still mine, but the chains were gone. I was free. Do you remember the first night we met? I asked softly. He smiled. Yes, you were afraid. I am not afraid now, I said. Good, he said. Because I am not leaving you. I laughed softly. You said that before too. This time I mean it, he said. I felt peace. Real peace. My tears came, but they were not of pain. They were of healing, I whispered. The road was cruel, but it brought me here. To you, Ryland said quietly. Yes, I said. To me, to us. The wind moved through the barn. Outside, the world felt new. I felt new too. I closed my eyes. My heart was full. I opened them and looked at him. I choose you, I said again. Always. Ryland smiled and pulled me close. I let him. The past was gone. The battle was over. I was not the same. I was stronger. I was whole. We stayed together as the sun rose higher. The air was warm. My heart was light. I knew the road had been cruel, but it brought me to freedom, to love, and to truth. And that was enough.